Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor and I am Jewel, and as you can see we have been working on some builds and we put in some houses. We're also going to be doing erasing some of this field paint. This is when I painted it. Well, I don't know. That one looked like the mushroom. So we may put that somewhere else, but basically that was just when I was showing an example of how you could do your fields. I don't know that I'm particularly a big fan of that. I like to more or less just put them kind of wherever the ground is in this case. So that's kind of my look at it on this particular style. If it's a flatter map or not as steep, then maybe you do more of a grid stuff like that over there, similar. So actually there is one that sort of looks like a mushroom there. We'll see whether or not we leave it. But my keyboard's kind of being a pain with the Alt button. I bought two keyboards, and for whatever reason, every time I buy one, something is not working on one. So one of them's not even working at all, and then this one is somehow, uh, even though I have it plugged up, not letting me press the Alt button good enough at times, so it flips me up. So if you see me jumping up like that, it's because when I pressed the Alt button, it didn't accept it, and it's just being a pain. So apologize for that. I may end up having to buy another keyboard. So we'll see. Got to find a good one that I like. So I'm holding down Alt now, trying to maneuver. But anyway, you can see the house. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. And if you haven't checked out the channel before, look at my playlist and you can see a lot of tutorials on how to do things for map making in the Giants editor for Farming Simulator 19 and 22, which this is 22 and this is Jules' Peaceful Valley map. So we're going to get started. I'm going to be putting some fields in this area, and I'm going to be putting houses here as well. Now this road will look a little more defined when I get it going, and also we got to have a road coming up to this place. And we're going to paint it off over this way. And I'm also thinking, what I'm thinking is I'm going to have trees come out down a little further than the mountain. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have trees all up in this area, all down lower than the mountain too. So you can do a little bit of logging. Then you're going to have some up in the mountains if you wanted to try to do. But I'm going to bring it down a little bit so we have some tree area down here. This will all be adjusted because it's been, you can see what's been done. But this, and we already put this little cell point in, as you can see. But we haven't finalized anything. This is just stuff laying around. We haven't finished. We didn't finish that road. We still got to do that. And even if we paint the road, we haven't like installed an actual road yet. I'm gonna get to that as soon as I can. So what I'm thinking is we're going to smooth this out, get that situated, knock some of that down. Let me turn this all the way up here. But go ahead and smash that like button if you like these episodes and you want to see more. I appreciate everybody. We're trying to get moving here. I'm trying to get going. It won't take long after we do the pick out where we want the fields, okay, and pick out where we want the roads. That's and of course the houses that go with the fields. That's mostly all we have, really, the big parts that we have left. So it's not like, you know, the rest of it. Yeah, it's gonna take a little time because you got to decorate, paint, grass, and whatever whatever texture you want on the map. But for the most part, once we get that done, we'll be moving a little bit better. Putting trees down won't take as long, hopefully, and mostly it's just decision making. I gotta fix all that. There's something I've done over here that I haven't shown yet on video, but I got tired of messing with it, so I was busy. So I don't want to. I'm gonna record some on it, but I'm situating it, and you'll see it later. But I still gotta fix all this, so this will all have to be adjusted. So, but basically trees are gonna come all down here. Some trees probably all around that, I would imagine. This one is obviously a cell point. We'll have to adjust all that to make it look not so steep. That won't be painted like that. That was just for an example. So we'll go ahead and get rid of it, honestly. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. Maybe we'll put this on a square brush and we'll just get rid of that. It's not necessary to be there. And we'll deal with it as we go with what we decide to put there, which will potentially be stuff. It could be some fields, or it could be more trees or what have you. Let's just get some of this knocked off right there, and right on up to the edge here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not finalizing any of that, so I'm not too concerned with it. It's just roughly speaking, you know, just just a general idea. All right, so we know the road's going to be there, coming off of there somewhere. We know we're going to fix all that road. So let me see if I can get this alt button to help me. See, I'm holding it down. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to drive forward, basically. But I'm pressing it. It's not working. So it's just going to be a pain. Let me try the other alt button. Okay, there we go. See? It's being a pain, though. I don't know what is going on with this mechanical keyboard. Maybe I'm going to have to just buy a wired one. I was trying to get a mechanical one just so I can, kick back and get more work done, when you want to move the keyboard further away and not be right up at the computer, but looks like it's not doing its job. See, I'm holding it down and it's still not letting me. There we go. Had to press real hard, be breaking the key before I know it. Anyway, this is going to turn, so I'm trying to see where I want to paint that. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and paint a road texture. Hit Control R over the dirt to grab it and roll this down to whatever size you want the road to be, which really I'm not so sure at this point yet. This will be adjusted again. We'll just do roughly that, and we're just going to say it turns. We're just going to say somewhere along here we'll make a turn, and we're going to come this way. We'll have to come up this hill. I'm going to have to move that, make it grass. Let's fix that. Control R. Now we can take that away. Make this bigger. Make our life a little easier. Get rid of all that piece because we're not painting yet. Knock all that out because that's going to be different looking. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab that. Grab back onto this. Meaning, when I say grab back, I just mean grab that dirt again with the Control R. R as in Richard. And we'll just snake this around. Let me go where I can see better. We've got all these trees here in the way for now. Alright, let me see what we got. Okay, so we got that coming on through, which is fine. I gotta look right here, cause I'm wanting trees to somewhat come down out away from there. So I'm thinking that's okay. So let's just start curving. Let's say we went up this hill and did a curve. Obviously this was asphalt, but we don't have to do that. I can paint over it or whatever with dirt. Whatever we're gonna do. We're just distinguishing where a road's gonna go. It's not that important about being perfectionist. I'm just getting that part done so I can say, hey, yeah, there's where the road's gonna be, yada yada. Alright, let's grab the grass. We gotta adjust this. This is getting whacked up. There we go. Let's fix this. Looks like that's a mess. Alright, let's just grab that and bring it on over so we can see, and just give it the idea that it's coming that way. Well, it'll be a smaller road, obviously. That's just getting us the basics. Alright, so we'll know there's going to be a road going off that way. We're going to know we got trees all up in here. Then we're going to have fields. Okay, so, and as you can see, that's way too big. So I might shrink it just a little bit. Yeah, that's just wild. Let's just come down off of that. Alright, there we go. Something a little more reasonable. Because we're going to be working it. There we go. Just something showing. You know, it's not meant to be perfect right now. As if it were going to be perfect anyway, but it's not. Alright, so that gives us our shape. We know, whoop, see that alt button still ain't working. There we go. Hold it down. Really hard. Ah, it's still not helpful. Alright, so we're going to put a house over here. Somewhere. So we need to look at everything. This is going to be trees, okay? All that's going to be rocks and trees and what have you. Trails or whatever it's going to be. Come on, alt button. Please work. I cannot maneuver without... Okay, I got to roll around like a little crawl. Somebody crawling. Okay, we could put a house on top of this hill. Somewhere. And then they can have their fields coming down in the valley, or let me see. Wished I had a house that I didn't have to go deal with yet. Well, we'll deal with a house in a second. What I'll do is paint a square here. Let's roll down, pick something just to paint for a house. Like, just something to say there's a house. Okay, so concrete, usually about 20. Will be about, really not, probably more like something like that for a house. Maybe 15, 16. It's not going to be that big, but figure the ground around it. So I'm trying to look at how it slopes. Okay, so maybe here. Alright, so roughly speaking, say there's a house there. Okay. Then say there's a shed maybe here. Say it's facing the road. Then we can have a field going off of there somehow. Let's grab that and then grab some dirt. And then we'll grab the round brush and see what we can come up with here. So the shed would be up here by the house, and it would be maybe we would put the house actually here and the shed here, but we'll fix it more in line with that road, that curve. So the field's going to be something like so. So it's going to have plenty of room, pretty big field I would say. We'll have to see what it looks like actually when we go test all these sizes and shapes and if they can be driven up or down before we actually do any full work on it. That almost looks like a bell, which is kind of cute. Maybe we make it into a bell of sorts. I don't want it that close to the road. Let's take that back. Let's take that. Take some of that off. Let me see. Let's take some of this off. There we go. Let's see. And then we'll swing it just a little more. Just a little more. And then we'll swing that away a little more. Let's see what we can get done here. Remember, the house ain't going to be exactly on that spot. Might be a little over and then a shed. So I gotta look at the ground shape. That's what we're concerned with. Okay, we went too far. There we go. Okay, so we got that slope of, and it's going down the little valley like, so that part's okay. That's decent. I'm okay with that. We'll have to touch that up. But roughly speaking, we'll put up a house. Maybe the shed's here, the house is here. Something like that, perhaps. Maybe we'll even put a field. Let me just test. I don't know yet. Don't hold me to it. So if this is going to be a shed and this is going to be a house, maybe we engulf it like this. And we need to get the grass again. We got to get rid of this so we can paint properly. Get rid of all that. I don't want to go too far though, because I accidentally be moving stuff I don't need to move. We're just gonna get this out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Like so. Like that. Alright, so now we'll grab this back. Control R. And then that way we can say they have a property here as well. That's gonna go through all that little field area. So they own two properties on a weird angle. Something like so. Maybe we curve this one like so. We'll have to see how close. We don't want to get too close. But let me look at it and see. That way, this is a house and a shed here in this little triangle. Then they got property there, property there. I'll have to go look at it. Okay, we might be on too steep of a hill here. Wow, that's pretty steep. See, that's the thing you gotta really look out for. It's hard to tell. It's not always just exactly how you picture it when you're painting. So you gotta adjust. So we might come further back. Let me see. That way it stays up on this slope piece maybe. Let me look at it. Okay, let me see something. Take this and go grass. Knock that off. Let's keep them on the slope part. Potentially. Like so. Something like that. That is not what I had in mind, but I couldn't get the mouse to do what I was trying to do. There. We're going to follow this at the top part. Like so. Let me see. That's pretty big field though. I didn't realize I got all this over here to deal with. We need to clean this mess up. Let's clean this up as well. Clean all that up. Let's curve this some more. See what we get. Alright. Does that look right with the ground is what I gotta focus on. Okay, the ground, that looks better with the ground. Ah, we're flipping around again because of the Alt button. Alright. Okay, so that's decent, but that's still up on the steep part. I'm gonna leave it for now. If it's too steep, we're gonna have to drop it down the hill a little. And potentially run trees there or something. But I'm thinking that could be, actually, do we want that many for that house? How many do we want? Or should we put a house here and this be a house for this field? We almost had enough room to make a mushroom field, but the problem is the shape. The shape of the ground is what I'm concerned with. Let's try it and just look at it. We don't have to do it. It could be in two parts, so let me think. Let me see. You gotta get it closer. And then this goes like so. Something like that. And then that can be a field. I'll fix that in just a second. We'll fix the row. We gotta fix that as well. We gotta get some grass. We gotta stay on this side. Yeah, we gotta try to touch that up a little on this side. Feels a little too far. There we go. And then, well, of course, we'll fix the road. It's not right. But that looks like a mushroom, pretty much. Kind of, sort of. And then we could put a house. We gotta fix this road, obviously. Well, let's try to touch it up again. We want to fix it, so we'll probably put it further over a little bit. Alright. Control R. Then come down a little. Maybe we'll curve. And then curve up. And then this will curve. And then we'll touch this side up a little. Touch this side up a little. There we go. It'll be better once we actually make it. Alright? So we'll have to adjust the ground for that though, see? So then you got this mushroom field. And you could put the house here or over here, however you want to do it. And then we might put this house to go with another field over here. That's what I'm thinking. And this can be grass, plenty of grass or something, or however we want to do that. Or trees, because sometimes you want trees on your property. So that part's decent. And let's see. Should be alright to do houses though. This is such a... We would put the house for the mushroom here and the shed here. Unless we stick it off over there. And then this house can have a house over here for this property. Let me look closer and see. Yeah? We may put a house and a shed here for this one. Potentially. And then, of course, that won't be that close to this person's house. And then we'll put a house over here, right there, for this person. I'm trying to give it a little bit more shape. There we go. Alright. So we might put a house here. Let's have a look and see. So we could make it a house. I almost hate to make a house there though. Maybe we should put the house at the top of the hill. Maybe we should put the house here. Temporarily, what I'm going to do, just temporary, is duplicate this house. Or maybe this one, because it don't have too much to it. I think that has a whole bunch of other stuff with it. I'm just going to duplicate the house. Just temporary. I'm going to put a different house there. Control D as in dog. And then Control B as in boy, excuse me. Left mouse click. And get a look at it and say if we have a house here, then we could have the fields. We'll put it over a little closer up here. But then we can have a shed and fields all around. We could put the shed here, looking out over the field, like that on that side. And then have, well, I'm spinning around. We could have, we gotta have a road somehow to get to it. We'll see how we want to do that. But we need to do several other fields to go with it. Let me think. Wonder if it looks like it's straight down. Yeah, kinda. Mm-hmm. That's a tough call. I don't even see the door. Where's the door at? I don't even see a door. This thing don't even have a door. We must be way off. No door. Wow. I must have took part of the house and not the whole thing. But that's okay because I'm just marking it. I'm not trying to make it a house yet. I'm just marking a spot, kinda. So let me see. So if this side is that fill goes here, we could put a small one here on the way in and have the road come up and this be grass and then have the shed um, right here. And we could have a bunch of grass there. Let's see. Then we got slopes and stuff all over there. Or we could make the road come here. Let's see. I kind of want the builds near the road though. Trying to decide how many should that particular house have. I don't want to give too many to each house, so um, no more than 3, I would think. Maybe we split it up and put 2 here. Let's see if we can do that. We'll see. Nothing's permanent. I'm just thinking. Let's say it's a road, or we'll leave that as a road in between there. We may have to shrink it a little, but we'll see. And then we can do it in halves, like it's fields like so. We'll fix that. Something like that. We gotta fix it. It's a little close, but we're just getting the basics. Okay. Almost. Gotta fix this. We don't want that there. We want this to curve back. And we want that to go away. We want this to curve like so. We want this to curve like here. Not too much. I'll have to fix that. Let's see. Trying to leave enough room for the drive. We're going to curve that just a hair there. Like so. We gotta fix this side. Control R. Because it's a little bit too much. Like so. Fix this right here. Alright. So now, after we fix our road, we will have a green grass little spot there that we could get between the fields with equipment and stuff. We may or may not have to adjust this to be further, but we can always scoot the road over a little if we need to, whatever we need. Actually, we could paint right now, paint some of that away, just a hair. There we go. Because it's not going to be exactly that size. We'll see what we end up with. And then that house up there will be for these two fields. And then we can figure out which way we want the road to go. And then they're sitting on this nice little slope of a hill for their field. Okay, we need to fix that a little bit. Alright, Control R, get this covered in. We'll come around with this, get this situated a little better. Okay. We could make it a little longer. It won't hurt nothing. Unless we decide not to, we'll see. But that gives us a little bit of a shape for the field. And so this field will be one house somewhere. We'll put this one with this house potentially. And then this house can be these two fields if we want. However we think we need to do it is really up to us. If we want this to be all three, or what do we want, you know. So now, let me see. Alright. Let me look. See, we need some trees up in here. I don't want it to only be fields. So that little spot here should be some trees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it a certain thing so I can remember to put trees there. Let's see. I mean, we could put something real specific, forest ground or something there. I guess we'll do that, but I just want to make sure I can see it. Okay, so we're just saying, hey, we want forest to be here. Okay. And all this ain't final, so don't hold me to this. We're gonna see what happens. Roughly speaking. I gotta look in game and everything too to get good decision making, you know. This thing will let me get down here. Okay, so see, that's won't be trees. Probably it'll run it along this like it's a ridge or some sort. Okay. If this will let me move, please let me move. Okay, so that's pretty deep hole there. Let's see. We still have room. A little bit for a field. Wonder. Wonder if we should put a house in between the trees and have them have a field. Let me think. How much room do we have? Okay, that's gonna be more of trees. So we need to cover that more. You can see how it's a bunch of steep area there. We'll get in close so you can see what it looks like. That's the forest ground, but we don't have to use that if we don't want to. Alright, let's see what we got. So we need this will be grassy. We might leave that grass. Or it could potentially just be trees. We may make that whole strip trees. Okay. As you can see, this is, if I can back out properly, you can see the fields, how they're shaping up. So I'm trying to make it, you know, not so close together as some. We'll see, you know. Is this on the top of a hill right here? Pretty much. We could put one on the top of this hill. Let me back off where I can see. think what we could do, well, they're gonna have a shed, so I don't, maybe the shed's gonna go on this side, so it looks a little more, you know, right there. I'm gonna leave that as a little bit of a strip. We can kind of cut in there a little bit with a field. Let's just test it. See what it looks like. Control R to get that. Let's just test it. See what we end up with. Let me see. See what we end up with. Okay, that's too big, so we'd have to cut it in half. So I'm not interested in nothing like that big. I just gotta decide how I want it cut. Do I want it cut this away? This away? Let's see. Probably we also gotta take some of that away. So that could be curved like that. And curve this away. We're still gonna adjust it, just hang on. Curve this like so. Whoops, didn't mean to go that far. Okay, so that part's okay. Now this one I don't want to look like that. Let me think. So we can shape this one back around if we want to get it bigger. Let's see. What we should do is this. What I was thinking is curve it like so. And this one, does anybody see what it might look like? A bone, a broken bone. So half of it's broken over there, and half of it's broken over here. But gotta try to get this shape a little better. Let's see. That's not enough curve for bone. Curve it in a little more. There we go. Let's see. Looks like a broken bone. Sorta. The question is, see this shed will go here. This is gonna be for those two. We'll have to put a place here for them. I'm just deciding, is it gonna be over here or over here? And will it look right if we were doing fill work? Let's get in there where we can actually see what's going on. I think we could drive that with a tractor. Come on now. Quit that. Trying to decide. The shapes at this point, I don't know. If that alt button would quit. I don't want to also make this video too long, so we may have to call it here. I don't like that being so far apart. Let me see. This one seems small. We're gonna put you back closer. It don't have to look like a bone per se, but definitely gonna put it back closer. Maybe we make it look like this into something else, another shape. Yeah, like so. And then we're gonna curve that. Then we'll curve this. And then we'll make this come on out a little. Like that. Something like that. Okay. I like that. Question is what house, where, and all that good stuff, and can we drive it? We're definitely going to have to go in game and check it, but not on this episode. I'm probably going to put the house. Let me see. Let me see what the ground looks like right here. Well, that don't look so good. Yeah, it's too steep. We may be way too steep up there. It may end up having to be tree area. We could put a house up on the top of the hill. Like up here. We'll potentially put a house here. But like I say, we'll have to be able to get to it. We'll have to make some sort of trail through the woods to get to it. For now, I think that's going to be good for this episode. I don't want to make the video too long. Let's knock all that off so we can see. But I think that'll be good for this one. We paint it a little bit. Some of it'll change, obviously. Some of that won't be there, obviously. And then, of course, we'll have trees and we'll have the road situated. Let's fix this little piece right here real quick. I didn't realize it got knocked out that far. Let's pull this on around like so. And then take this around like so. Something like that. Just roughly speaking, it's nothing permanent yet. And we'll fix it. Something like that. But I think we did alright. We've gotten some to test for in-game. Like I said, we're going to have a house and a shed here. And either it'll go for this field, depending on where I put it. If I put a house and a shed over here for this one, then that'll be to that one. This will be to this one. This will be to this one. Then one will be to these two. You see? Something like that. It just depends on how I lay it out. But I think we're going to call that an episode here. Because like I say, I don't want to get too far into it and make the video too long. So we're going to call that an episode. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive the notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.